A warm welcome back on the AM show. Wednesday is here again, and you know how we do it. We bring you, well, AM Business, courtesy of EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. We come your way with another edition of AM Business. Now, in this edition, Joy Business Nicholas Brown walks us through the prospects, investments, and threats of money laundering faced by the building sector. Enjoy.
Today, we are going to talk about everything concerning housing. Yes, from the launch of a very, wonderful magazine to Grader complaining about illicit financial investment in the sector to some, inflation issues when it comes to the housing sector. But first, let's begin with the launch of, as I said earlier, a very wonderful magazine concerning the housing sector. My name is Nicholas Brown. And today I have here with me the CEO of Illicit Africa Living. They did this particular wonderful launch. Claudia Lumo is my guest. Welcome, Claudia.
Hello.
Nice having you, and thank you for being with us. Now, let's talk about this particular magazine. What really is it about?
Yeah, so Illicit Africa is a lifestyle brand. I think people know us for the last 12 years in Ghana. We do Illicit Africa Fashion Week, Illicit Africa Women of the Year, Style Awards. So somebody will say, why real estate? But we are a lifestyle brand, and home, housing, decor, interior design, it is part of lifestyle. But for us, we were always preaching a bit of that in our lifestyle magazine, but we saw the work and the progression that's gone into that industry. And as a founder as well, I'm hugely passionate about that industry as well. So with our little research, we felt that we could set aside a separate magazine as a good platform, as a platform for the industry. It is an industry that we all have to pay attention to. It's not everybody that can buy a land and build their own houses. Some of us would have to get into the housing somehow, but through mortgages, through funding. So how are we, making sure that this industry does better? So whether you're a developer, you're an architect, or you're a bank, or you're a loan company, everybody is concerned. Young people are coming out from schools, we're getting married, we are having kids, and we want to live in comfortable, affordable homes. So we wanted to be able to provide that platform and, be a key stakeholder in the industry and try and bring all of these things together between policymakers and industry players. Great.
I'm sure that's wonderful, by the way, but I'm sure you are aware of the many challenges that confront this particular industry. Of course, there's already the talk about the huge deficit. Are you concerned, or how concerned are you when it comes to the challenges and perhaps, some sort of solutions that you prefer going forward?
I think I am. I mean, even our launch, we could have just done the launch of the magazine, but I felt like if we bring industry key stakeholders together, bring our new Minister for Housing, bring policymakers, Grader is there as well. Let's have the conversations. Even all this morning breakfast was all about reducing the housing deficit. So it's something that I'm hugely passionate about, because I am a young person as well, and I've gone through the mortgage service in Ghana, and I've gone through my own personal frustrations. With whether you don't earn, your monthly income is not at a certain level, the interest rates are so high, either the properties are priced so high, or maybe the location, sometimes I'm like, even the prices are compared to the location, it's just really too much. But we can't keep going like that, and not all of us can buy lands and build houses. And not all of us can afford to spend full cash to buy a house. But people need to live, and we need to, Ghana is moving, or we are a middle state country, or we're moving, so we need to be able, housing is a huge part of, our lifestyle. So I think that's why I am passionate about it. And the challenges, as I said, from interest rates, from, developers have their challenges as well, because they are struggling with funding, even sourcing for their infrastructure, like things to use for building is all a huge challenge for them. We are encouraging them to use made in Ghana products, doors, all of these things, try and do them here, for employment and everything, but they're also having challenges cost-wise. Maybe it's cheaper for them to bring it from abroad. So the industry already is stressed, whether from the developer or from the buyer, from the young people who are aspiring to own some 1-2 bedroom studio flat or apartment somewhere. So why not, you know, Great Africa is a key stakeholder in lifestyle. So we wanted to show that, and we also wanted to show that to the rest of the world, that these are the kind of homes we have in our country. So if you want to invest in this industry, see what we have here, see what, you know, all these developers and architects are changing our streets with great architecture. We wanted people outside to see what is happening in Ghana, in our sector, in our home and housing as well.
Next on our schedule, we have one fine gentleman, Kojo Adokufo. He is the executive head home loans of First National Bank. We are going to talk about, you know, owning homes and what have you. They have actually declared this particular year 2021 as home ownership year. Thank you very much, sir, for having us. Now,
you're welcome.
Why have you decided to declare this particular year as home ownership year?
Well, to answer that question, we have to look at what happened last year. Last year saw the coming together of two institutions, GHL Bank, formerly Ghana Home Loans, and First National Bank, to create First National Bank Ghana. So this year, to reaffirm the mortgage or the home loans pedigree, and to really signal to the market that we are still very much in the business, we're still very much committed to home ownership. We declare the whole year a year of home ownership, and that is to make sure that anybody who is looking to buy property, anybody who's thought about it, anybody who is eligible and is ready to walk the walk, we will hold their hands and make sure that by end of the year they live in their own house.
I mean, this particular industry, the housing industry, have a lot of challenges that have shackled it. But you have been consistent over the years. What's keeping you going?
For us, it's become almost like a crusade. We're just committed to it. We see it as a huge opportunity. It's transformational. Home ownership, the acquisition of property, and the use of properties as collateral to raise financing is what drives economies. Potentially, we are looking at a $5 to $7 billion industry here in Ghana. At the moment, we are nowhere near that. And our objective, our commitment, is to drive that industry towards a 10% of GDP being held as home loans, and that's a $7 billion number. For us, we have a target. We are nowhere near it, and every time we look at the target, we get re-energized to strive forward and reach that 10% of GDP number.
Interesting. Now, I mean, let's talk about some of the targets that you've set for yourself, talking about this particular year, declaring as home ownership year. At the end of the year, what do you sort or seek to achieve?
Right. So the first objective is first, to make sure that everybody in the industry is aware that First National Bank Ghana is committed to home ownership. I think that has been achieved. Yeah. The message is out there. Secondly, we have a pipeline of individuals who've approached us, have made inquiries, are looking to buy homes, and we have internal targets we've set ourselves to take as many of those people as possible across the finish line. We should find them properties, arrange mortgages for them, make sure they are home by 31st December. So we're chasing that as well. The bits we are unable to do this year, we have another program which I can't mention for next year, but you'll hear when the time comes. That rolls into that as well, so that by getting to the end of this year, we'll launch next year's program and campaign. But the key thing is that for everybody who is thinking about home ownership, they shouldn't be discouraged, they shouldn't be intimidated, they shouldn't focus on what I call the side attractions or the questions that people throw out there. They should focus on the one objective. I'm looking to buy a house and I'm going to do it. Why? Because I've seen other people do it. It's possible, right? We know it's possible. So they should come to us, make the inquiries, we take them through the numbers. If they can't buy house A and they can buy house B, we'll help them do it. If they can't buy B, they can buy C, we'll help them. If they can't buy A, B, or C, and they can buy land, we'll help them. But at any rate, we'll get them on that property ladder. And I think that's the objective that the origination team has for this year. Quite intense, but we hope to achieve it.
Interesting. I mean, it's an investment that you are also making.
Absolutely, yeah.
And all that. But for you, what really has been some of the challenges that you are confronted with, and making sure that you deal with them appropriately and correctly along the line?
Well, I think the first challenge from day one has always been market education, educating people that when you have to buy property, when you have to own a house, there are several ways to do it. Our preferred way is that you borrow to buy or borrow to build. And if you're going to borrow, this is the way to go about it. That's been getting people to understand, to look at it in those terms has been a challenge. You find the initial reaction, or the default position for most people is to acquire land, because at least the money can go that far. They don't register title. They start building immediately, even though they don't know where the rest of the money is going to come from. Halfway through, they're stuck. The land doesn't have title. They probably don't have building permission. It's a mess. That's when some of them come to us. But so we are educating the market to do it the right way. Beyond that, we're educating those who are thinking about it the right way, not to be fazed or intimidated by the process. You're buying a house, you're taking a lot of money by way of a loan to do so. So you should expect questions. We need documentation. We need to assess your affordability, how much you earn. We do all of this to make sure that you can comfortably service the loan, and you don't get halfway through and then you're stuck. So those who come at it thinking it's just sign a piece of paper and get it doesn't work like that. We do try to, we go through a process. We then go through a process with your title documentation to make sure that the property you are buying has good title. And we do that in conjunction with survey department, lands commission, land title. There are delays there too, there are challenges there, but we work through all of that. So every step of the way there's a challenge, but once you focus on the objective, which is we are going to get this person to live in their dream house, it really makes the process less intimidating.
Let's talk about illicit financial flows in the housing sector. When we talk about illicit financial investments, what really does it mean?
What happens is that money launderers have an agenda, and they have a big reason for why they want to risk and engage themselves into money laundering. And one of them that has been identified as the major activities of launderers is terrorism financing. And so they will come in all sorts of forms, sometimes as if they are coming to as investors to inject into some investment into your business. But the ultimate goal is to wash the money that they have and then make it look clean, but in actual fact they use this money to do all sorts of naughty things that affect humanity. Relative to real estate, there are the FATF recommendations has identified real estate as a safe haven for money launderers, and so their perception, or perhaps they have some information that suggests that these money launderers are in the country and are busily working and injecting their money into the system and making all sorts of investment to look as if they are genuine interest group into the country, but eventually they will turn around and harm us. And so we as business people should be wary of some of these people and collaborate with the law enforcement agencies and other collaborators to ensure that we don't make this a safe haven for the activities of money launderers. And also when there is illicit fund into the system, it competes with genuine business source of income. For example, if a money launderer has money and is willing to inject it into a real estate business and is willing to give it to you at 5%, I'm sure you will be laughing and be smiling and you will run to pick such monies up, whilst the commercial banks are lending at 24% and above. I mean, it is uncompetitive, and so it will genuinely kill, genuine businesses and suddenly allow illegal businesses, or unknowingly businesses that are even illegal may be converted into a vehicle for illicit and terrorism financing activity. And before you say Jack, all genuine businesses are collapsing, and this illicit, financing sources are creeping into the system and flourishing in certain businesses, and then before you say Jack, they have hijacked the country.
Work that FIC is doing, and also the responsibility that the law has put on you, especially real estate developers, to check where the money is coming from and all of that. As an association, there is this school of thought that the real estate developers know these people who are indulged in this kind of illicit financing. As an association, what is being done on your part to make sure that we kick them out?
Okay, first of all, we have been in constant engagement with the FIC. Last 2 weeks, that is from the 29th to the 31st of March, we were engaged full day for the 3 days at Alisa Hotel for the Giaba team in collaboration with FIC and Grida to organize this workshop, 3 days workshop, that is to take us through the law and what is incumbent or what is required of us as practitioners. So as an association, we are already doing the sensitization. If you listening to me carefully, I told you that the act itself was in force from 2008. So about 12-13 years down the line, we are still in the sensitization period because we haven't done enough in terms of education for people to appreciate it. So at our level as real estate developers, we are committed to weed out this group of people. If we find them, we will not want to shield them. So we are doing our best to work with the law enforcement agencies to ensure that we don't allow such investment into our businesses.